The Mystara project is proud to present part 22 of the Characters of Mystara series. In this video, we take a look at the impulsive magic user, Aderianne the Gold. Aderianne was introduced in 1989 in the Dawn of the Emperor's boxed set, in Book 1 The Dungeon Master's Sourcebook, on page 103. She appears as one of the characters in the Airship of Love mini-adventure, as a neutral 20th level magic user who is having relationship problems with her partner, Perfinia the Great. Aderianne was born in AC 916, in a rural area of Vertalock, on the Green Lake River, 48 miles north of Sundsvall, and 24 miles south of Verberton. Her father, Zojamaris, owned a grain importing business, based in Archport. Her mother, Lonperu, owned a mercenary hire business in Sundsvall. Her older sister, Alcaruso, was born in AC 911. In AC 930, Aderianne was examined for magical talent. She passed, and began studying at Aderianne High in Sundsvall. In addition to magic, she took subjects in magical engineering, alternate magics, planar geography, the Mero language and sculpting. In AC 933, she commenced studying at the University of Sundsvall, where she learnt additional spells and took an engineering course. After graduating, Aderianne adventured in the haunted marshes to the south, the Grey Mountain foothills to the southeast, and occasionally helped her mother in her mercenary hiring business. In AC 940, Aderianne reached 9th level. She splashed out and bought an estate in Sundsvall, then organized a barn raising for her tower. Using her engineering skill and magic, and helped by her arcane friends, the tower was completed in 3 days. She was then approached by 13 apprentices, comprising a seer, 2 mediums, and 10 normal humans with greater than average intelligence. Including servants and slaves, she had about 250 people living on her estate. Aderianne did not participate in the ill-fated Alphatian spike invasion of Thyatis in AC 959 to AC 960. In AC 961, Aderianne's parents gifted her a gold dragon egg. She cared for the egg and then the baby dragon when it hatched, naming her Texuvikuo. She then learnt to ride the baby dragon once it was old enough. In AC 974, Aderianne met and fell in love with Perfinia, a fellow magic user. Over the next 17 years, they had 6 children, and 2 that were tragically stillborn. In AC 981, Aderianne's mother, Lonperu, died of an unknown disease. Aderianne inherited her mercenary hiring business. In AC 983, Aderianne's second son, Ricarian, was born sickly, but survived due to help from a cleric of Alphatia. Later that year, Aderianne had become quite persuasive in dealing with the mercenaries in her business. The next year, Aderianne herself had to be saved by a cleric of Alphatia, during a difficult pregnancy of a stillborn child. In AC 986, Aderianne's 1-year-old third son, Tixugieres, was tragically killed by a lightning strike, whilst in a park with his nanny. In AC 989, Aderianne's eldest child, Umivsu, failed to show any magical ability when tested. She joined the Order of Alphatia in Sundsvall to be educated and trained as a cleric. In AC 991, Aderianne gave birth to another sickly son named Trad. Once again, a cleric of Alphatia was there to save the baby's life. In 994, her eldest son, Kola, failed to show any magical aptitude when examined. He too was sent off to the Temple of Alphatia in Sundsvall for education and clerical training. In AC 996, her father, Zojamaris, went missing. To date, Aderianne has not been able to find him. In AC 999, her second son, Ricarian, shows magical aptitude at his examination, and begins studying magic at Aderianne High. After a long period of relationship issues, Aderianne and Perfinia travel to Rainbow Park on the island of Gaiety in AC 1000, to try to reignite their passion for one another. At the cost of 5,000 crowns per person per night, staying on this entertainment island is prohibitive to the vast majority. The couple book an empire-wide cruise on the luxurious Airship of Love. Aderianne earned the epithet, the Gold, as she is obsessed with that color. She has golden hair and eyes, a golden brown complexion, wears gold kaharas, has a gold tower and a gold dragon mount. Her real age is 83, but she has taken 5 potions of longevity to maintain her apparent age as 33. She is relatively tall, a common feature of the Alphatians. She is slender, weighing 135 pounds. She speaks her native Alsatian tongue and Mero. She is very agile, reasonably charismatic, has above average heartiness, and has an IQ of 130. Her saving throws range from a 75% chance against most magical attacks, to 55% against dragon breath. She has a 65% base chance of completing engineering feats, assessing structural integrity, identifying common magical items, deducing basic principles of unfamiliar magical devices, recognizing magical abilities of common creature types, knowing the multiverse inhabitants and planar portals, and creating sculptures. She has a base 85% chance of performing certain actions whilst riding horses and dragons. Finally, she has a 75% base chance of persuading others, and being a convincing actor. She is uninterested in mastering weapons, with only basic mastery of the dagger and the net. With above average heartiness, she has a healthy 41 hit points, 7.5 points above the average 20th level magic user. She is lightly encumbered, allowing her full movement speed. When unable to use her spells or wand, she attacks with her magical returning net, against man-sized opponents within 30 feet, or yards. Creatures caught in the net who fail a death ray save are either delayed, slowed or entangled. The greater the target's hit dice or level, the higher their bonus to save, and the lesser the category of hindrance. She has a modest armor class of 7, assisted by her high dexterity. Aderianne can cast up to 8th level spells. In addition to the obligatory read magic, she has the Alsatian spell Precipitation, which was later inherited by the Minrothadan merchant princes. Douse Flame is another Alsatian spell inherited by the merchant princes. She normally memorizes the situational spells Detect Magic, Light and its reversed form, Darkness, just in case. Locate Sea Life and Predict Weather are another 2 spells inherited by the Minrothadans from Alsatia. She usually only memorizes the former when going on one of her underwater adventures, whilst holidaying at Bluenose Beach in Arroganza. She usually memorizes 2 Predict Weather spells and casts them each 12 hours, so she can constantly forecast the weather in a 10-mile radius. She usually memorizes Sleep to non-violently deal with less powerful human and human-like groups that she cannot persuade. She has been known to cast it on her children at certain times for peace and quiet. Purify Food and Water is another Alsatian spell inherited by the merchant princes of Minrothad. She normally memorizes the situational spells Detect Invisible and Wizard Lock. She has cast Wizard Lock on every significant portal and lock in her tower. She normally memorizes the Watery Form spell, which is another spell inherited by Minrothadans. This allows her to travel virtually undetected through water for up to 3 hours and 20 minutes. Very useful for underwater adventures and bypassing defenses via moats and rivers. She usually memorizes the situational knock, sometimes to overcome Perfinia's wizard locks when they are having an argument. She also has invisibility 10-foot radius memorized, in case she needs to do some snooping. Her 3rd level spells include Create Air, Lightning Bolt and Clairaudience. She usually memorizes the latter 2. Clairaudience is identical to clairvoyance except all references to eyes and seeing are replaced with ears and hearing. This allows Aderianne to eavesdrop on conversations within 60 feet for up to 2 hours. Something for Perfinia, her apprentices, servants and slaves to be mindful of. Her 4th level spells include Polymorph Self, Growth of Plants and Remove Curse. She memorizes all these spells, plus Curse, which is the reversed version of Remove Curse. Curses are permanent until dispelled or removed, and are in effect like limited wishes with negative effects. When sufficiently angered by someone, Aderianne may impulsively try to curse them. Growth of Plants is also permanent until countered by magic, and presents a non-lethal way of escaping from enemies in the wilderness. When she is being ignored by Perfinia, Aderianne tends to polymorph herself into a large gold dragon to fly along and play with her mount, Texuvikuo. She usually only memorizes Create Atmosphere for magical engineering projects, or when traveling to areas lacking breathable air like under the sea or some other planes. She normally memorizes Dimension Door for a quick escape, or to easily reach another section of a complex, or to try to get rid of undesirable creatures that come within 10 feet of her. Her 5th level spells include Teleport. Another spell where she can try to be rid of someone within 10 feet of her. It is also a dangerous form of instant travel for herself. She has made expert studies of her tower bedroom, and her former bedroom on her family estate, as well as a few other locations. But until she obtains the Teleport Any Object 7th level spell, she is reluctant to teleport. She usually memorizes Dissolve and Wall of Stone, but not the necromantic Animate Dead. Dissolve lasts for 3 to 18 days, useful for trapping enemies in mud, and Wall of Stone is permanent until dispelled. Her 6th level spells include Stone to Flesh, Death Spell, and Disintegrate. Stone to Flesh is for emergencies. Death Spell is particularly effective against lower level groups that can't be reasoned with. Disintegrate is an all-or-nothing spell, used against a more powerful creature that is resistant to lesser spells, but is more practically used to create openings in walls or damage objects like ships. She also memorizes Gesh, often using it to compel reluctant servants and slaves to do her bidding. The spell lasts until the task is complete or the Gesh is magically removed. Her 7th level spells include Charm Plant and Summon Water Elemental. Plants stay charmed for 6 months, and can act as garden guardians for her tower. Summon Water Elemental is a more powerful version of the 5th level Conjure Elemental spell, as it does not require concentration. However, only one type of elemental can be summoned. This is another Alphatian spell inherited by the merchant princes of Minrathad. She also memorizes Iron Form, a useful spell for construction projects. Her 8th level spells are Impersonate and Travel. She only memorizes the former when she has studied someone for at least 40 hours and wishes to pretend to be them for some reason. If her acting skill check is passed to replicate her studied target's mannerisms, she is very convincing, and has won much acclaim when she appears in the occasional theater show. She normally memorizes 2 travel spells, which allows her to fly for 6 hours and 40 minutes per day, and to visit other planes of existence. Aderianne is lightly encumbered and unarmored. She carries a potion of super healing, she has a spell scroll of Obscure and Dispel Fog, 2 Alphatian spells inherited by Minrothadans that she is yet to scribe into her spellbook. The scroll is kept in a waterproof scroll case. While she has completely avoided fire-based spells, as many Imperial Alphatians do, she does have a wand of fireballs with 9 charges remaining. Her returning net +2 covers a 6-foot square area and can be used one-handed. If she misses, it returns to her hand like a boomerang. She has 2 original spellbooks and 2 traveling spellbook copies in waterproof cases. Each version of her first spellbook is full with 24 spells. She has wizard-locked the jade clasps on each book as a precaution. Mounted on a wall in her tower is a Wheel of Misfortune, which everyone believes is a Wheel of Fortune. Occasionally, a drunk party guest may give it a spin and get a big surprise, or possibly drop dead. Aderianne is fairly suspicious, eavesdropping on people via clairaudience, spying in watery form or invisibly, or casting Gesh on others to coerce compliance. She is fairly rash, often acting on impulse. She is sometimes economical with the truth, and can be a bit lazy. Otherwise her traits are in the average range, as is the tendency for neutrally aligned characters. Aderianne was designed to be one of the main characters in the Airship of Love adventure for character levels 1 to 3. The cash-strapped PCs see advertisements for employment on the Airship of Love, based in Rainbow Park. They are hired, and are soon swamped with the social problems of rich Alphatian guests. Within 15 seconds of Aderianne seeing the PCs for the first time, she becomes infatuated with one of them, while Perfinia's attention is elsewhere. She dramatically drops her drink and dimension doors over, declaring she has found a rare gem in a world of dull stones. The object of Aderianne's attention must now make a choice. Do they reciprocate her infatuation, and find some way to persuade the not quite sane and intensely jealous Perfinia that his relationship is over and he should find someone more compatible? Do they try to reject Aderianne tactfully and risk her making a scene, and possibly casting Gesh on them, or having them fired? Or do they try to figure out the couple's issues, and suggest ways to resolve them? Perfinia is terrified of losing Aderianne, but he doesn't know how to express it. He begins to notice something is wrong, but he misinterprets everything, whilst interrogating the PCs with bizarre logic. A lot could go wrong here, but it should not end in combat, as that would be uncouth on such a prestigious ship, and would end badly for the low-level PCs. The PCs would be well served to calm Aderianne and reassure Perfinia. Twists could occur as the PC has to hide Aderianne in a wardrobe as Perfinia approaches a cabin. Eventually, Perfinia could discover the truth and start oscillating between crying and rage. The PCs would then have to persuade him to calm down. Perhaps persuading Aderianne to admit her impulsiveness could help. The PCs could then facilitate a constructive conversation between the two of them, helping them rediscover their spark. Depending on the PC options, they could gain two powerful allies, or make two powerful enemies, or one of each. Aderianne could then become a recurring character in the campaign. This concludes our look at the impulsive and powerful Alphatian magic user, Aderianne the Gold.